Hello, I'm Renee, and I've been documenting my life as a barista over the past year. Here are 7 life lessons I've come to realize while making lattes at the cafe. So grab your favorite bean juice and let's get started. Lesson 1. The more espresso, the less depresso. Believe me when I say the phrase more espresso, less depresso in its essence is like a Delulu mindset because they keep everybody happy and caffeinated for about 32 minutes and then it comes crashing back out. But that's enough time for a customer to come in, do a little light work, feel happy, and then go out and be like, wow, I did so much today. I myself had a bit of post-grad depression. My mind was basically shouting in a loop like, this is it, your working life as an adult starts right now. There's no more fun and games. And I really didn't want to face the reality of having to find an income for myself. That all changed with the thought of espresso. Working at a cafe was one of the side quests in my life that I wanted to complete before moving on to whatever main quest, And I thought, what better time than now as a young college grad who's a little aimless and uncertain about life.
So today I had a work interview at a cafe I always wanted to work at. I've been going there for the past 8 years or so. I'm really excited. I think it was a good interview. And so hopefully maybe you'll see me there in a month or so.
Long story short, I got the job and even really good training on the spot to go from a noob barista to a bean juice connoisseur. JK, I'm not really there yet, but you know what I mean. This bean juice is pure liquid gold, fancy tips and all. No surprise, coffee makes bank. People are thirsty for coffee. I'm saying they're so thirsty for coffee. The shift from school to having a job made me realize that work is work. There's a sense of purpose from having a job and obligations and responsibilities. Oh my goodness, I'm becoming an adult. As someone who's still learning how to prioritize sleep and time management, I was really grateful to have work as a structure, sense of routine, something to get me out of bed in the mornings. I'm no longer depressed. I have income. Lesson 2. The right amount of pressure yields the best outcome. This will be explained with how good espresso is made. From this Reddit post I found on coffee, the definition of espresso is essentially coffee beans and water. But in addition to temperature and time, we're adding a new component to the brewing process, which is pressure. I learned this from my coworker, but the pressure on espresso in a basket is insane. It's at 9 bars of pressure, which is equivalent to about 130 pounds per square inch. It's purposely pressurized so that it can produce a very quick and heavily concentrated shot of coffee, weighing only about 30 grams, give or take depending on your coffee machine. Pressure on your life should be purposeful, just like espresso. Don't put unnecessary pressure on yourself, only the proper amount to extract the best of the best work, because there needs to be a good balance of healthy pressure and expectations in order to not be lazy, but on the flip side, to not put too much pressure to the point of overestimating how much you can handle, of course. And believe me when I say I'm still working on this as well. Postgrad life was hard. I felt the need to conform to what I thought were people's expectations of what being a young adult should feel like, should be like. But I realize now that even when I was in high school, I had no idea what people in their 20s were doing, and I still don't. I have friends working full-time, part-time, traveling, back in grad school, applying to grad school, just graduated, and more. And it's the first time where there can be so many different paths to choose from after college that are both exciting yet daunting. This is also a reminder that we all have our own timelines, gifts, and opportunities to pursue. Lesson 3. Timing and patience. Let me teach you how to steam milk. We all know that timing is everything, and working as a barista, there's a bajillion things to think about all the time. When to heat up pastries, when to take the next order, when to pull out a shot, or call out the order, when to take a break, open up, and anything else that you can think about that makes the ecosystem we call a cafe. And in steaming milk, timing is a crucial component to get that silky smooth goodness. Timing accounts for both the texture and temperature of the milk. Mastery of how long to aerate or put air into the milk depends on the steam wand's strength. And for our cafe, the wand is super duper powerful. After listening carefully to the ripping sound for a few seconds like this, You then insert the steam wand deeper into the milk to create a nice whirl and evenly distribute the air to form nice micro bubbles. By placing your hand on the side of the pitcher, this can help check if the milk is heating up properly to the right temperature. Did you know that different espresso drinks require different temperatures of milk? If you didn't know that, now you do. The main key with this whole process is patience. Patience is much needed to learn when to stop steaming the milk, because otherwise it would become too hot or not hot enough, when to stop putting air into it as well, because then there would be too much foam or too stiff to pour. Before being a barista, I like to say that having the patience to learn something new became a foreign concept to me as I got more and more discouraged through years of public schooling. With the world of instant gratification of medias and phones, the concept of improving slowly over time became more foreign than ever. As a perfectionist, I want to be good at everything the first time I do it. And of course, that's not how learning works. Not having to worry about getting bad grades was an immense help when I was training as a barista. For once, learning did not feel like a chore. I had time to give myself the patience and grace to improve a smidget bit with each latte I poured, which in turn made me a better barista. I had fun, didn't dwell too hard on my mistakes, and kept pressing ahead. And I also slowly documented my progress so that I could see the minor improvements as well. Take some time and reflect for yourself. What's something that you need to give yourself more patience and grace with? Lesson 4. Resting or taking action. Not all milks are created equal, especially in the steaming process of lattes. Regular moo cow milk produces the silkiest texture and the smallest microbubbles if steamed right. Oat milk is a bit more bubbly and soy milk steams a little bit more creamy. Almond milk tends to create bigger bubbles than regular milk. I used to say the word almond wrong. I always said almond. Believe me, I dislike the milk even more because it takes extra consideration and intention to aerate this milk. It drives me nuts. Some tips my coworkers have given me was to allow the almond milk to rest a bit after steaming it so that it becomes less bubbly, and so the popped bubbles decrease the volume of the milk, allowing for a more solid pour. Just like how not all milks are created equal, not all priorities in life are created equal as well. This past year, I've been reflecting on my values and priorities in life to kind of sort out things I need to do as a young adult. Should I be working more or less? Do I need to find another job? Am I making enough money in the present time to fund my well-being and happiness? Am I pouring and giving back to my family and friends? What about church? What about God? Who I spend my time with now is also something I have to carefully plan and choose, since my time and energy is finite. Who I let influence my thoughts, like the Bible, media, family, coworkers, all play a part in the layers of life, like the layers of milk. Purposely finding time to drive more, learn about finances, incorporate more exercising into my schedule can be so overwhelming at times. But intentionally resting or taking action is something we will all have to juggle in life. And the more actions I take and the more rest I get will always prove fruitful, one way or the other. Lesson 5. It's not just about latte art. The good, the bad, the ugly. I'm sure if you're watching this, chances are you have romanticized working at a coffee shop one way or the other. The smell of coffee beans around you, enjoying a cup of beanie goodness, pouring cute latte art. Well, at the end of the day, working at a cafe is honestly still a food service job. Our cafe might seem quiet at times, but let me tell you that when I'm not making orders, there's a lot of restocking, cleaning dishes, cleaning floors, and even more dishes to do. I would say that steaming lattes only make up about 10% of the job, and maybe only 5% if you're taking turns with someone. And when our cafe is busy, it's busy. I'm not kidding you. The top busiest weekend I had, I counted the receipts, and in the span of an hour and a half, I pulled 90 espresso shots. That's 90 different lattes and types of drinks. The other morning, I made 10 avocado toasts in less than an hour into my shift. I've timed myself for efficiency's sake, and it takes me about 7 to 8 minutes to make an avocado toast. In the same way where pouring cute latte art is not the majority of a barista's work, life is the same way. Chances are the happy and picturesque moments of life only make up about 10% of your life, but the other 90% is behind the scenes, the hard work, the tears, the struggles, having the discipline to act on things. Thinking about that is tough. Really embracing the fullness of life, though, includes accepting the hardships and the really real stuff, because those become such valuable learning moments that help you mature and grow as a person, even more so than just the joyful moments when everything is going right. Lesson 6. Coffee connects people. I've learned that the reason a cafe can become a favorite place for most people is because it falls into this category of a third place, which, according to Wikipedia, the most trusted media source ever, a third place is a place that is separate from the two usual social environments, first one being home and the second one being the workplace. This includes places like churches, clubs, libraries, gyms, everything that is important for building community and finding a sense of place. Our cafe is not only a place that offers a legally addictive substance called coffee, but it's also a place to strike up conversations with strangers. Actually, I've been pretty proud of myself working as a barista because as an introvert, I was able to push myself out of my comfort zone and have small talk with customers. One word, NPCs. Our regular customers are like NPCs. Once I see them walk in, I instantly start making their orders even before they pay because I know their orders by heart. The most amusing thing for me to witness though is seeing one NPC talk to another NPC because I didn't think they knew each other. It's like the whole Marvel universe coming together or something. Working at a cafe in my 20s was also a timed blessing in disguise because God also blessed me with extremely kind and caring coworkers. Sometimes at a cafe, strangers can become friends, first dates can become an actual couple, and your baristas are watching everything happen. There's so much tea and drama that is spilled at cafes. I mean, the next time you're at a cafe, try eavesdropping on your baristas, because chances are we're talking about anything and everything. Sweet moments like being able to pet a customer's dog on a walk, or the little kid who shortened an encounter politely asking you, "Can I have my own hot chocolate?" makes me think that a cafe provides the most wholesome and authentic way to meet the people in the community and connect to one another. And now to our last lesson. Lesson 7, try something new. This is pretty self-explanatory. This whole video has been about lattes, but sometimes it's not just about latte. Try something new, like water.
Wow.
All I have to say, y'all need water. Please drink some water before you get your happy cup of bean juice. Please. This is a lesson of don't be afraid to try new things. The more things you try, the more you can make sense of where you are and how you feel about that certain thing. I'm a safe girly, I always pick the same drinks over and over again. But working as a barista, I had the chance to try out different drinks without that added expense or regret of, oh, I shouldn't have picked that thing. So here are my personal rankings right now of drinks you should try besides lattes. My number one order right now is an Americano, whether hot or iced. This is because 1, it's usually cheaper than a latte, and you know how expensive coffee is now, right? 2, they still have espresso in it and caffeine. And 3, if you just say, oh, I want an Americano with a splash of whatever milk option, chances are that milk option won't be an added cost to your Americano because it's not half of the drink. My number 2 drink would be a cappuccino. It's our second most popular type of drink, and with good reason. I think it still has the same amount of espresso as a latte, but with less milk. And this is good if you want to taste more of the coffee. When I drink anything, really, I take forever, and whether it's a hot drink or a cold drink, it'll either become cold or too watery. And cappuccinos are way better because of their size, and I can finish it quickly. And number 3, I said drip coffee because drip coffee is the quickest to grab on the go. It's usually already brewed at some point during the day. I think if you want to build a more interesting personality, go and try new things, because when you try new things, you'll see what you like and you don't like, and those become part of you. Oh, and in order to make space for something new, I quit.